Good morning, guys. Today we're going to continue on using some stippling, but instead of making a value chart, now we're going to use stippling to make our drawing look a little bit more three-dimensional. Okay? So we are going to need a pencil today to get started with, and then we'll switch back to the pen. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a cube, and then the way that we're going to add value to it using stippling is going to make it even more three-dimensional looking. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this trick before on how to draw a cube. That's what we're going to use a pencil. All you got to do is draw two squares that are overlapping one another. So here's my first square, and then the second square that I draw, I'm just going to come down from this top corner and draw the exact same size square overlapping. Once we have those two squares, all you have to do is match the corresponding corners, and you have a cube. Right? Now we do want our cube to look solid, so that we don't want to be able to see through it. So go ahead and erase out the lines that we're not going to need. And our cube is ready to go. Right? That's all we're going to need for the pencil. Right? So now we're going to switch to stippling. So the first step that we're going to do is, instead of drawing a line for the outline on where our pencil lines are, we're going to create an outline using stippling. So just use your pen and start outlining those lines. Okay? Now it doesn't need to be a solid line created by the stippling. You could still have space in between those dots. We just need to have it outlined enough so that we know where those lines are. Okay? Now once I get finished outlining all those lines, I'll take my eraser, erase over the top to get rid of all the pencil lines. Before you do that, make sure the ink is dry so you don't smear the ink. Depending on what kind of pen you're using, that might take longer for some people. So once we have that outline and ready to go, now we're ready to start adding in our value using our stippling. Before we start doing that, we got to think about which areas of the sphere are going to have different types of value. Okay? So for us, if we're thinking about an overhead light, we want it also coming from the side. We're going to have our lightest area on the top portion of the cube. The back side here is going to be the darkest, and then the left side here is going to be right in between those. So if we look back at our value chart that we created on the first day we were using stippling, we want the top of our cube to be this first value, the side to be the third value, and then this back side is going to be the darkest value. So we're going to use these three separate values on here to make this look a lot more believable and a lot more three-dimensional. Right? I'm going to attach a photo of mine once I get finished with it, and when you are finished with yours, please attach a photo to the assignment. If you have any questions, send me an email. Have fun, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.